by Matt Kenseth for third space. Harvick's there. He's there.
Oh, and look at this. The 24 just went around. And here comes the 29. Can he get to him?
We're still green.
Still green. Busch wins it. Woo!
And here's what happened between Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth.
I think there was some other contact before that, though. I think that's how Jeff got by Matt.
Bobby Labonte almost involved in that one.
How about old Carl Edwards?
Jeff Gordon out of his car, and he's not happy with Matt Kenseth.
We had a great car all day long, the DuPont Monte Carlo, and you know, we got a little bit tight there at the end, and then Kenseth got shuffled out, and you know, he's holding guys up, and I got to him a couple of times and showed my nose, and he shut the door on me, and the next time I got an opportunity, I definitely moved him, you know, but I didn't wreck him, and we went down into one afterwards. He just wrecked me, so you know, I'm sure he didn't mean to do it and all that stuff, but I wasn't happy about it, and I showed it to him after the race, and you know, I like racing with Matt. Matt's a great racer, and you know, that stuff rarely ever happens with him, but you know, I'm going to give it back to him what he gives to me, and I guess that's what he felt like, except for I got wrecked instead, and so it's unfortunate for this DuPont Chevrolet team that we got a top 5, you know, great finish. It was going to be a great finish for us, taken away from us.
I have to apologize to Jeff. He's right. I mean, it was my fault. He did bump me out of the way, and I did wreck him, but it was not intentional. I drove in too hard. I was just watching a replay of him wrecking somebody. I mean, I didn't do it on purpose, and I would be mad if I was him. And I left my car to go over and apologize him, which I probably should have waited a little bit longer. So,
Jeff Gordon won at Sonoma 2 weeks ago, then was caught up in a late race crash at Daytona last week. That crash cost him critical points, knocked him out of the top 10, but right now he's on the bumper of the leader. Oh! Kenseth goes around off the front end of Gordon. And automatically you think of what happened at Bristol between the 17 and the 24 that resulted in that shoving incident on pit road after the race.
I'd take a look at that again. I think that Kenseth probably got a little bit loose going in there because Gordon was so close.
Be a penalty if NASCAR is at all consistent. I mean, that was plain as day, Blade.
The 17 slowed down for some reason right there. I mean, whether he got loose or whatever, I'm not saying that it was Matt's fault that he got spun out, but it did look like his car slowed down. Right there.
We heard Kenseth tell his crew on the radio that, what did he say, if NASCAR is consistent, they will black flag the 24. Is that not what he said?
Yes, and remember that Jeff Gordon is on probation. And we can tell you that NASCAR is reviewing the same replays we're seeing. The 24 crew of Jeff Gordon.
I hate to win one like that. You know, Matt, he ran a great race, and you know, we had our troubles in Bristol, and that had nothing to do with what happened there. I got in there real hard, and he blocked me a little bit a couple of times, and you know, I jumped back in the gas. I don't know if Casey on the outside made him have to hesitate, but you know, I just trying to get the best run I could and got into him. So sorry to Matt, but you know, it was going to be quite a battle. I think Matt knew that. He blocked me on the restart, and if I wanted to spin him, I could have spun him then, and you know, I wanted to race him, and we got down in there, and you know, I had a run on me, blocked me again. You know, I just couldn't believe he was doing that, and then you know, I got such a great run on him. You know, I'm not going to back out. I want to win. I want to win at Chicago because I haven't yet.
Back at Michigan International Speedway, Jeff Gordon's car has spun and is stuck in the wet grass and muddy area here in the along the front straightaway. Bring out caution number 6 on the day. Torrential rains the last 2 days couldn't get the car to move in the mud. Now safety crews are pushing him back on the racetrack.
All right. We don't want to pit you early because we don't want to start dead last. So come on. Tires still up.
Let's show you what happened here. Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, and the 17 of Matt Kenseth, nose to tail here, coming off of turn 4.
Matt Kenseth's just got a real fast car, and Jeff Gordon's trying to get out of the way, but Kenseth's got a big run, comes back up across in front of Matt Kenseth, gets himself spun out.
It looked to me like Jeff wanted to give it to him, but he just had to chase the car because it was loose, and he just had to have that extra room and slid up in front of Matt Kenseth.
You know, I was loose and he had a run, and I was trying to get out of his way, but he didn't want to be patient enough for that.
Did he hit?
Hopefully they'll push you out here. We'll see what we get.
Kenseth.
And then there at the end we stayed out, and I thought the car would tighten up, and man, I was just so loose. So, you know, it was my fault what happened with Matt. You know, he went to the outside, and I was loose. I was sliding up the track, and I saw my mirror. He was there. I was trying to get out of his way, and he just had too much momentum. So that may have just saved us. I don't know. We might have had a tire going down. I'm not sure what was going on.
And Jeff, trying to get out of Matt's way there, could you not cut the car back down because of how loose it was?
I had it turned all the way to the left. I mean, Matt was probably a little impatient with me right there because he got underneath me, and I was just trying to see if my car would tighten up. I was hoping that it would. So he got underneath me, and I ran hard with him on the outside. You know, it's closing laps. And then I drove into that turn that time, and he went to the outside, and I was just loose. And so I knew I was giving up the spot, but, you know.
Green flag.
Whoa, Junior didn't go.
Did not get a good restart. Matt Kenseth took advantage of him on the high side. There goes Gordon on the inside. They're going to split it going into one.
Boy, I think Junior may have spun the tires, Larry.
And what a break that was for Gordon, but look on the high side. Oh, Gordon comes up.
Oh,
he
got Kenseth. Oh, and there goes Jeff. Jeff's in the inside wall, hard into the wall.
Caution will wave. Caution will wave. The field is frozen. We'll be coming back to 4 to go.
That was, and he almost got clipped again.
How much contact did Jeff Gordon make with Matt Kenseth? That little black mark right there is all we can find on Kenseth's car. He just touched him.
You can just see, if you watch, I think you might even see just a little smoke or dust. Just a little bit. See that little trail off the back there? Just that's all it took, though.
As we've said all day long, it doesn't take much at those speeds.
Well, we've always said in the middle of the corner or at exit like that, reach out with your finger and touch that car, and it could go around. I think Jeff just shoves up right there, gets into him ever so slightly. And look at Greg Biffle slide by, but that inside lick on the inside wall is what tore Jeff's car all to pieces.
Jeff, that was a wicked shot you took. Tell us what happened.
Well, you know, it was a little bit my fault. I didn't want to be on the inside there. My car was really too tight. I wanted to get a run on the outside, but when Kenseth and Junior got side by side, I had the momentum. I went to the inside. I got down to the bottom and thought it was going to stick. I got in the gas, and I drifted up into Matt and hated that happen. But
2 by 2, 2 laps to go. Gordon, Newman, Kenseth.
He can do it. Cut down if he can get down in that hole right there.
Looks like Kenseth's going to shut the door. Gordon walks up the racetrack. Here comes Kenseth to the inside with Hamlin following.
Everybody bumped everybody. Here comes Logano. Hamlin inside. Jeff Gordon.
Kenseth drove the corner. Here comes Hamlin.
It is Hamlin.
Got him.
Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano take the white flag. Here's the restart. Hamlin gives the bump to Newman, and here comes Kenseth to change the order of everything.
Yeah, you see Gordon got loose getting down in the corner, and when he did, there went Matt. And right here, I thought the 11 was going to really make a mistake, but he was smart. He waited, and the 17 took care of himself. And just as easy as he lost the lead, he got it back.
Yes, he did.
You know, on that last one, I didn't get a great start, but a pretty decent start. I saw the 17 was way behind me, and I drove into one, you know, trying to not overcook it, and he drove in the back of me so hard that I don't know what happened. If the 11 got in the back of him or he just drove in the back of me, but I made sure he wasn't going to win the race after that. We've had our run-ins and different things. You know, I mean, the way he raced me, you know, today I didn't think was the way I would have raced him, you know, but that, you know, we've had our ups and our downs, but I feel like we've been past that. You know, I certainly didn't think we had any issues. If somebody hits me, I'm going to hit them. And if he hit me, I'm glad I did what I did on the back straightaway because, you know, if a guy gives you a cheap shot like that, then he doesn't deserve to win the race, in my opinion.
You know, the Martinsville thing, I mean, I saw a chance to go for a win. You know, I barely got into Jeff, and it was at Martinsville at 40 miles an hour. And I thought for him to say that he was going to make sure he ruined my day, which he did, by the way, and I finished 18th. Because I barely bumped in the back of him, I thought was a little bit harsh or unreasonable, but that's my view. I'm sure his is different. So, whenever I got a chance, I'm going to go for the win. Now, I'm not going to go down there and run into somebody and spin them out for the win. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, and I'm not going to do that to them no matter who it is. I'm going to race them as hard as I can and as fair as I can. So, and you would like to think that most people are going to do the same thing for you. So, I mean, I think everybody always races as hard as they can, for the win when the opportunity presents itself. I don't know, and I always come out on the short end of the stick, too, for whatever reason. So, I don't know if it's coincidence. After your third or fourth time, you'd like to think that's probably not coincidence. So I don't really know. I've talked to him at length, and I don't know. I don't know if he has a problem with me in particular, or what the thing is.
They dropped the green. I went through the gears. I went into turn 1 and I got hit, and I was upset about it. And I had an opportunity to get back to him, and I did. I think that it stinks for Matt because he finished pretty far back, but I felt like at the moment it stunk for me too because it took our chance of winning that race away. What goes on further than that, I have no idea. I like Matt a lot. Love racing with him. I talked to him Sunday night after the race, and I think that those conversations don't really do much good, but I guess, I was glad that we talked about it anyway. And, I definitely want him to know that I don't have anything against him, and I don't. But it was pretty plain and simple. If you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. That's where I leave it, and I'm certainly not thinking anything about it. But, if he chooses to do something, that's up to him. That's just part of racing.
Gordon trying to make that slide job, see if Kenseth,
he does, barely pulls it off. I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, Gordon almost got in the wall there if he didn't touch it.
Took a heck of a shot from Kenseth getting into the corner.
They're a little faster than they've been getting into that corner with that help.
Yeah.
Man, me and Matt and Jimmy fought so hard there for what was that third or fourth position, and we used up a lot of our stuff, and Brad was just able to go out there and cruise.
And Jeff and I got together up there, and then by the time we got all that done, I kind of got past, lost a couple spots there. So